Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigvalda Grim here and welcome to yet another top 5. Today we are going to take a look over the top 5 legendary characters. Keep in mind that this list is my personal opinion based on my game experience and if you do not agree with this list, let me know down in the comments what you would change about it and we will have a conversation. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe for more and check out my other top 5 videos. In this video I will not take into account how hard it is to get the characters since they are all legendary characters and they are all hard to get. So without further ado, we are going to get in 5 character, Darkseid. In terms of personal enjoyment, this is the character that I like to play the most. He's a very unique character with a lot of gameplay options. His special one does good damage and also has armor piercing on it. This is your way to go when fighting teams in the arena and that have high armor. His special 2 has great damage and on top of that it has power drain. Other than that, if used correctly, this can allow Darkseid to perform an infinite combo that will work even on raid bosses. That will let you do this non-stop on the enemy until you run out of power without him being able to do anything. Not even special abilities, not even super move. And even on some bosses when you can't power drain. His special 3 summons 3 parademons that let Darkseid get out of the fight and the parademon will fight in his place. The parademons have their own stats and the attack and the health that they have are deducted from Darkseid's total. You can have up to 3 parademons per battle. The parademons have their own special abilities and they can do something close to an infinite combo themselves. And the parademons go well with Darkseid's passive, sacrifices are necessary. That makes the 30% of the health and 30% of the attack of the characters that die be absorbed by Darkseid. And what that means, it doesn't mean he regenerates health, it means he gets additional health on top of his already having health. This works well for allies and for enemies alike. So in a fight you will get attack and health from all the enemies that die, all the allies that die and all the parademons that die. The second part of the sacrifices are necessary is that if you take higher damage than a percentage of your max health in 1 second, then you will receive a barrier equal to a percentage of your current health. And this also applies to your allies. And this also applies to Darkseid himself. And this is a great ability for Arena and Champions Arena and allows you to go for a full damage build without having to worry about getting one shot. The last of his passive has a chance to fire an AoE bombardment when he's tagged out. This triggers once every few seconds and if you are lucky, you can stop the enemy's mid ability or interrupt their combo. Darkseid is a good tank, deals good damage and he's a good support. He's a jack of all trades and master of none of the legendary characters. He does not deal the best damage in raids and he's a great character for Champions Arena and Arena, but he is also not the best tank on this list. If this was a list about the most versatile legendary character, he would have been close to number 1, but this list is much more specific than that and other characters on this list are the best at a specific thing. But in my heart he will always be number 1. If you want to build Darkseid and you don't know which build to go, then you should check out the video that I have on how to build Darkseid and I will leave a link of that in the description. Coming in at number 4 we have the first legendary that was introduced in the game, Arkham Knight Batman, and he's by far the best support character on this list. In terms of his special abilities, there's nothing really great about them except for his special 2 that has a stun on it. The great thing about that is that it has an additional 50% chance to trigger on raid bosses. Why is this great, you may ask? Because it makes possible one of the best raid teams in the game where you use Arkham Knight Batman in order to stun the raid boss and then tag in Heartbreaker Harley Quinn so she can deal loads of damage to the stunned boss. His passive number 1, called Wayne Tech, increases by 100% the hazard and dot damage of the team and gives 60% defense and 125% health for agility and tech teammates, and that also includes himself. This is a great ability to buff a lot of characters and allows you to build them full damage and then count on Arkham Knight Batman to give them the much needed defensive stats. The Fear multi-takedown is a great ability for Arena and Champions Arena, as after you manage to kill an opponent, you get 3 bars of power and 30% of your health regenerated. This also works for your teammates, so they can also benefit from it. Lastly, the free flow counter interrupts special attacks for the meta-human opponents up to 3 times per battle and stuns them for 5 seconds each time. Again, this is a great ability for Arena and Champions Arena, but this is a little more specific one. So, to sum things up, he's an amazing support, a very tanky character by nature and one of the best to have in Champions Arena and Arena teams, and it is the character without who the best raid team, or one of the best raid teams at least, wouldn't exist. As Darkseid, he's a jack of all trades, but he is in a way a master of being a great support character. For all these reasons, he is ranked at number 5 on this list. I couldn't put him any higher because from this point on, all the characters are just ridiculously strong. If you don't know how to build him, I also will leave a link down in the description, as I have a build guide for Arkham Knight Batman. This was all for Arkham Knight Batman. Coming in at number 3, we have Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd. Before we get into why he's number 3, keep in mind that this was a very close call with the number 2 character, so if you think that the character I'll have at number 2 should have swapped places with Gorilla Grodd and Gorilla Grodd should have been number 2, then you might be totally right, because they were very close to each other in the ranking and it all came down to personal preference. So, Gorilla Grodd is a great character and a great support for the Batman Ninja team, and it is a must-have in almost any Batman Ninja team. In terms of his abilities, we should note that he is the first character on this list to have an active shield that makes him the best tank so far on this list, since he can mitigate almost all incoming damage and reflect some of it back. His special 1 has a bonus to blinded opponent, and his special 3 boosts the regeneration and the healing for Batman Ninja teammates. But what is really great about him are his passive. The crippling blow reduces the enemy's defense, and on top of that gives you a certain amount of bonus damage on every 5th successful attack. Only because of the armor reduction, this passive makes him an alternative of replacement for Silver Superman if you are hitting sub-bosses and you need something to reduce defense. The boost part, when paired with other Batman Ninja characters, is an even greater addition. On top of that, his master plan passive also makes it that every time he lands a successful unblocked lethal hit, and also applies to Batman Ninja characters, he gets a refill of power. This plus the damage increase on every 5th attack and the defense reduction makes him a great support, and if not paired with the Batman Ninja team, still a great combo builder and energy builder. The dramatic rehearsal passive is mostly an Arena and Champions Arena good ability, because when he gets low on health he gets a little boost and healing on basic attacks. So overall, he's a great character and an essential part of every Batman Ninja team. Great if paired also with other legendaries, and great for Champions Arena and as a support and combo builder. As I said, he's almost equal to number 2 on this list, but he didn't have any he didn't go any higher because the character we have at number 1 is Jack of all trades and almost master of all. Coming in at number 2, we have Justice League Superman, and I can say it already, this guy is the best character on this list for Arena and Champions Arena. He's the best character because he has the best block ability in the game. Because his block ability, called Super Block, other than reducing most of the damage that is incoming and reflecting some, also heals him for every ability that this shield blocks. And this, said very simply, makes him unkillable if you time it right. His special 3 is notable that has big damage and also inflicts burning on the opponent, and This comboed with his Batman vs Superman passive that gives him huge attack boost. He can use that in order to do decent damage in raids. Also, you can switch in between pairing him up with Batman or Wonder Woman in order to boost the necessary stats you have. But considering the shield that I did talk about before, you really shouldn't need to pair him with Wonder Woman ever, because he's unkillable anyway, so you should pair him with Batman in order to get the maximum damage efficiency. And I've seen him do decent damage in raids. Again, not great at that, but that's not his main strength, so it's just notable. His next passive, called Do You Bleed, gives plus 40%, gives a defense percentage for every Justice League and Legendary teammate. And this is a great thing because it also applies to himself, and that means you can build him full attack and he will already have a huge defense without you needing to invest any points in it. And the fact that it applies to Legendary teammates and Justice League teammates makes him yet again a great support. And his third passive, it's an amazing passive for Arena and Champions Arena called Protector. So basically, every time one of your teammates is tagged in and he is about to get hit with a special, Superman flies in, deals a huge amount of damage and interrupts the ability that the opponent is going to cast. And if your Superman is built correctly and is oriented towards a more damage build, then this thing can easily straight up one-shot the enemy. And because of the fact that he is the best character for Arena and Champions Arena, the best tank on this list, and he also performs decently as a support character and as a character in raids, this guy is number 2 in my book. Before we get into the number 1, I'm going to talk about Brainiac. That is an honorable mention because he is a very great support for legendary characters, but he is just that. He does not perform well in any other category than supporting, and his supporting abilities only apply to legendary characters, so he didn't make it on this list, but he is pretty good if paired up with legendaries, and he's pretty essential in some teams. At number 1 we have Black Manta, and I don't even know where to start because he's a beast of a character. His special 1 has nothing special about it except for the fact that it slows power generation. His special 2 applies burn to the opponent and this half the enemy's defense. The burn stat, I mean. His special 3 decreases the stun resistance of the opponents, deals a very big amount of damage, and stuns the opponents for up to 6 seconds. And on top of that, it also has a 50% chance to apply on raid bosses, and this is very good because if you manage to stun a raid boss, then you will be able to get a lot of basic attacks in. But his passives are what is very important about this character and what makes him very good. The first passive, that is Open Wounds, has 2 parts. The first part is the fact that it blocks the healing of the opponent for a very long amount of time, and the second part is that 300% of Manta's attack is going to be dealt to the enemy over time as dot damage. And if your Manta has high enough attack, and it will most likely will, this alone will drain the entire health bar of your enemy before it even runs out. And on top of that, this passive also applies to your legendary teammates, so every time a legendary teammate casts a spell on the enemy, it will apply a health regeneration and healing debuff and the dot damage. This ability will perform amazingly for you in Arena and Champions Arena, and it can counter a lot of healing characters. His next passive, Revenge Mission, makes him increase his attack for every basic attack he does up to 100 times. And this, if this goes all the way up, it's going to go up to 1200% damage when it gets to max stacks. This ability alone makes him a beast in raids and the best legendary to use as damage dealer. The only downside of this is that in theory he's a worse version of Last Love the Joker and a more expensive one, but when it comes to raids he's a beast nevertheless and he can perform amazing. His third passive, that is Manta Suit, increases his health by 300% and makes it so the block effectiveness of him and of other legendary teammates increases for every successful block. This makes him a very tanky character without needing to build him that way, and makes you able to go full raid build and still be able to perform amazing in Arena and Champions Arena. In conclusion, Black Manta out of all Raging characters in this list is the best damage dealer for both raids and arena, and he's also a great support for your team and a pretty tanky character, and this earns him the #1 spot on this list. Well, this was all for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got a different opinion than me, let me know down in the comments and we can discuss about it. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. See you in the next one. Peace.